have generally come out hungry even after wins. What's their reaction been this week to their first loss?
Oh, I think it was really good. I mean, I think we handled it. Yeah, they handled it professionally. Like, man, I mean, you can't come hang your head, but you're going to have that as a competitor, that that feeling of wanting to get that taste out of your mouth. And I think we've stacked 2 solid practices, not perfect by any stretch, but 2 solid practices in terms of where we are Monday and Tuesday, and just excited to go into Wednesday.
How has Ross bounced back? He seems to be a bounce back guy, and we've heard it from Noel. But from your perspective, how has Ross bounced back?
He's fine. I mean, Ross is fine. Ross is resilient. You've seen him. He's been resilient all year. He's been resilient when he's gotten hit in the face, or when something hasn't gone right for him at UNC with a pick, coming back later and leading us on a couple drives. So I'm not worried one bit about that. I've already seen it out of practice, so I know he's gonna come out swinging.
What did you see out of the very limited reps, granted, from Zion and Derek Clark?
Yeah, it's just limited, but they showed some things. It was very limited. They each just got a couple carries each. Zion with a couple more in on a couple other reps in the past game. But I'm excited to just keep progressing with them as well, just because through the course of a year, that's a challenging position, depending on how many snaps you're taking. And obviously, Pat's taken a lot of snaps at this point, and Vic's still a solid number, depending on which game you look at. But we are going to need 3 to 4 to sometimes even 5 backs through the course of a season. So I'm excited to see their jump from their first true action to this week.
What did you see out of Melky Stovall? You said you kind of gestured at maybe wanting to see more a few weeks back. What got him into the lineup?
Yeah, he was just, he's something where he did some solid things in practice and was doing, he has the ability, to make plays. It's just a matter of just getting into the flow of what we're doing offensively. And but he was able to, again, kind of like you talk about Zion or talk about DC, you're able to see a little bit, and and hopefully we just keep progressing from where it was in that ball game.
How'd you feel about the offensive line against SC? It looked sometimes Ross was under a little pressure.
Yeah, at times he was, but sometimes I think that gets, there might have been times where they, beat us, but shoot, they're a good football team.'re going to have guys. We beat them too with our defensive line at times. So you're going to have that. But I thought overall they competed well. They competed well. We were able, our 2 top tailbacks, our 2 guys with the most reps, averaged about 5.5 a carry. And, and even a couple of times when there was a little pressure, sometimes you can't always look and say, oh, that had, the natural thing is to say that's the O-line. But I can think of one where, a tailback missed on a block. I can think another one where, Ross will be the first to tell you, he slid kind of into it, and it wasn't, and another one where he darn near ran into it. So you can't look at sometimes sheer numbers or how many sacks were given up and assume, because I think they did a really, solid job in terms of competing all day.
What were you aiming at getting from going into the I formation, which is something I don't think we've seen here in many, many moons?
A first down.
and
that's all. We were 1 for 2, I guess.
Did you like what you saw out of that formation?
Yeah, I mean, it was 2 plays, and we were looking to get a first down, and we got the first one, and couldn't quite get in the end zone with the next one, but Vic got in on the next play. So just again, you have little wrinkles. It's within our package. Doesn't mean we'll run it every week or it's always in. No, but it paid dividends, early on, right, in that first 3rd and 1 or 2 or whatever it was when Malik was able to get 4 out of it, keep the drive going.
Got an easy one for you this week. Coach Greatwood, all those guys up front rave about him. What's he meant to your offensive staff?
Oh, he's been huge. I mean, Coach Greatwood, and I've known this years before I ever got here. Just with just the way his O-lines have played throughout the years, not just at Oregon but throughout. But mainly I know it from his Oregon and competing against them, and also just watching as a fan. So it's what you see more than anything is his lines play together. They play in rhythm. And that's what you always look for in a great O-line. No matter what their talent level, no matter what, are they stepping the same? Are they playing together? Are they understand things together? And that's a sign of, being well coached. And you see that with our O-line. So it's exciting to be working with, Coach Greatwood.
What have you seen out of Oregon's defense so far? Looks like they get to the quarterback, and what have you seen out of them, and how do they do that?
They have a lot of speed. I think they play extremely hard. I think they do. And they have talent, so don't take that away from that. I mean, obviously they have talent. They have a lot of athletes at each level. They're young in some spots, but in my opinion, those young players are playing at a pretty high level. Got a couple young nose guards that are playing at a high level, a corner playing at a high level. So they got some young guys in certain spots, but they move well and they all play with great motors. You know, so it's going to be a challenge for us. You know, from a standpoint, you know, they aren't going to take any plays off, and they do. They provide enough stuff to keep you off balance with what they do, that you just got to be on point with what your rules are, and you got to be on point with knowing that you got to, you know, come knowing they're going to come at you. You got to be ready to compete.
Last couple of times I've been up there, it's been really loud. What do you guys do as an offense to try to work on your communication in an atmosphere like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing everyone does. I mean, you have your certain cadences that you feel like work in those places. I mean, we, you know, dealt with it. Maybe, you know, obviously I know it'll be a little louder probably than UNC, but we had certain noise. You know, we dealt with certain noise when we were, you know, on the road in game week 1, and we've all, as coaches, we've all dealt with it. Most of these players that have played, they've all dealt with it. So I don't think that's not a factor at all.
What do you want to see the most out of your guys in terms of finishing drives this week?
Yeah, just, you know, just what you said. We got to be able to finish those drives. We got to be able to put the, you know, that's what we're lacking at times. I mean, we've probably gone on more double-digit drives than I'm used to, you know, because a lot of times I've gone on quicker, shorter drives in my career as a, you know, as a coach. But so that's a positive to our ability to sustain 12, even, what was that, 15 to start the second half, you know. But at the end of the day, we got to, again, make that 16th, that 17th play, whatever number that is. So, and that's what we're just lacking a little bit. But at the same token, we're not far off, you know. So it's never as good, even when we're winning ball games against, you know, North Carolina or, you know, Ole Miss. It's never as good as you think. You know, we got still a lot of work, and it's never as bad as, you know, man, that fourth quarter. Well, there's about 3 or 4 plays that really you got to look at, you got to study, and it unraveled on us. But I still feel great about the body of work, and we just got to find a way, like you said, to sustain and to truly finish a few more of those earlier, so we have a chance to have a lead going into the fourth quarter rather than being tied.
To that point, I think you guys are 50% in terms of getting touchdowns when you're in the red zone. What do you think's holding you guys back from you know, pushing it through in the red zone?
Yeah, there's a number of things. I mean, it's just, you know, certain missed opportunities, certain times in which, you know, it's been, you know, 10, I don't like to use the term 10-man football. I mean, you got 11 guys competing, but maybe one guy is a little off, or one guy just missing, you know, or whatever it might be. And that's kind of what's happening on a lot of those. So we have to improve that. We have to, you know, we have to own that. That's the best way to say it. We have to own that and understand that, and we got to attack it going into this week.
What were you guys looking at when you decided to move Trevor Howard to tight end? Obviously, he seems like, you know, he's developing there, but what did you see to say let's move him there?
Well, it just felt like he could give us something potentially, you know, and how soon that is, I don't know. You know, it takes a little bit to, you know, that position is a challenging position too, just with everything that you're asked of. So but looking to, again, you know, trying to give us something, give us a little meat there, a little beef there. You know, especially obviously losing Ray early in the season. You know, we were just lacking certain experience there. So we'll just kind of see how it goes as we go forward. But he definitely has a skill set that has a chance. You know, I just haven't had much to evaluate yet.
Well, I moved him, 3 weeks ago about?
Yeah, he just hasn't had a lot of team reps. He hasn't had a lot of true reps yet. He's still, you know, coming back.
From his knee and what?
Yeah.
You guys all good?
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.